Welcome back to our season How Children Learn. Over the last couple of videos, we've been talking about what you can do to help your child between 0 and 5 learn about the world and develop their language abilities. We've talked about infants, we've talked about toddlers, we've talked about 3 and 4-year-olds, and here are some general guidelines for 4 and 5-year-olds. So at that age, children have a much bigger vocabulary, a greater ability to talk. What do we want to be doing? In terms of interaction quality, we want to continue to be responsive to what children are doing. We want to be responding to their questions, providing explanations. We also want to be asking them for explanations, asking children why they think some things, and asking them to generate explanation is really helpful and supports both their language and their cognitive development. We want to be prolonging discussion, so asking their opinions, engaging in longer interactions. Children around that age can engage in multiple turns, have more complex talk. In terms of the linguistic quality, we can use much more complex language, and that means that we can engage in even more talk about the past and the present and the future. We can make predictions. And in terms of conceptual content, children at that age can really engage in discussions about a lot more kind of abstract topics. We can discuss why things are alive. What does it mean to be alive, right? What happens when we die? We can talk about what they think. We can ask them to make hypotheses and predictions and ask them to justify those predictions. All those things are really going to help them continue to learn and grow. And that's true as children continue after 5 and 6 years old. Of course, I think it's important to note that as parents, we're busy and it's difficult to always want to be listening and building on what a child is interested in. And it's okay not to do that all the time, right? I think as parents, we have to be mindful of being present, right? We don't want to be on the phone all the time around children, but we also have things that we need to be doing too. And children are resilient, understand that, and there's no such thing as a perfect parent. Thanks for listening to our videos. Looking forward to seeing you next time.